Hey, Feasters, and welcome to episode 155. And today is all about the lifeblood of your business, cash. If you are wondering what the best solution for taking payments are, this episode will help you get some clarity around that. Welcome to the Ask Rezzz podcast. I'm Jason, and I'm here to help you get past those bumps in the road, those struggles, those things that hold you back from building an amazing and profitable freelance business each and every single day. And what's profits without money, right? It's nothing. So the problem here is that taking payment online is complex, but it really should be the easiest, most frictionless experience for your clients. If you get nothing else from this episode, please take that with you. Make sure you go through the same experience of paying your invoice as your client would. There are all sorts of laws and regulations and things that complicate taking payment. What I'm going to be sharing in this episode applies to the US. If you're not in the US, these companies and services that I talk about may still apply to you, but I can't guarantee how you will work with them, if that makes sense. Please do your due diligence to make sure that this works best for you and where you are. Now, freelancing is a worldwide thing at this point, and it always really has been, but a lot of these companies that I'll be talking about today have come leaps and bounds to helping those people that aren't inside of the US. There are a few layers in taking payment that I hope to provide you with some clarity. There is accounting software and there are payment gateways. The lines between these two types of things are becoming much more blurred, but they still are two very separate things, and people don't really understand the nuances between the two. Me as a developer, I've been working with payment gateways and merchant accounts and banks for close to 2 decades now. So I understand the differences in where each of them play and the role that they have with receiving payment. But what's nice is a lot of these companies that I'm going to mention in this episode, and mind you, this is not a paid episode. This is not sponsored or anything in that kind of realm. This is really just to provide you with some information that you can make the best decision for yourself on. But like I said, there is a difference between payment gateways and accounting software. So let's start with the payment gateways. The difference between payment gateways and accounting software is that payment gateways process payments only. They will not reconcile your expenses. They cannot generate invoices directly and easily, and will not give you any sort of reporting like profits and loss statements. Gateways are companies like Authorize.net, Stripe, and many others that essentially link your bank account to the online world so that you can take a payment. Oftentimes, you don't get the money immediately. It can be anywhere from 2 to 5 days later, but then you'll see it deposited into your bank account. Stripe is by far and away, at this point in time, and this man's opinion, the leader in this field. It basically integrates with most all software out there at this point in time, and even has a robust API that if you have some developer chops, you can actually build your own software on top of it. Now, you may be saying, but Jason, I'm generating invoices from things like PayPal and Stripe. And yes, you can do that from these systems. But when I say invoices, I mean being able to set up recurring invoices, allow your client to log in and see their account and payment history, and even manage their own account with relative ease and no intervention from you. See, PayPal and Stripe, they kind of do some similar things here, and that's what I mean by the lines are being blurred, but it's not as easy as some other options that I'll mention here. Now, the cost of a payment gateway is usually fee based, right? So, and what I mean by that is it's a percentage of the total transaction that is happening at that point in time. If you have a lot of transactions or a high amount of money that's going through these payment gateways, oftentimes you can negotiate that rate. See, the rate is anywhere between 2.5%, and I've seen as high as 3.5% of the total cost of the transaction. Now, what's accounting software then, right? Companies like FreshBooks, QuickBooks Online, Bonsai, and Xero. And now I'll have all of the links in the show notes, so don't worry about that. But all of these types of software allow you to link up your bank account, generate invoices, set up recurring billing, and give your accountant some access to nice reports. These often carry a flat monthly price with them, but you do need, in most cases, a payment gateway to directly link your accounting software into your bank account. Your software, the accounting software rather, sits as a layer between your client and your gateway to make everyone's life easier, including your own. Is it needed? Well, that's something that I've wrestled with in the past, in the recent past, in fact. But that's because I'm seeing a lot more advancements nowadays from companies like Stripe and a new player on the game, Azlo, AZLO, as they start to build out developer tools to essentially replace these accounting software. Now, as a developer, if I want to spend time in reinventing the wheel, yes, maybe I could cut that monthly cost. So that's why I'm wrestling with it. This area, I'll be honest with you though, I am finding most interesting because the stalwarts in the space like Xero and QuickBooks technically don't have any unique added value other than your accountant uses them. So I'm keen to see where this actually will go. Now, Stripe, as I mentioned, is the leader in the space, at least from my point of view and many others. It's been the payment gateway of choice for many online businesses for years now. Stripe has been building out bits and pieces of things like reports and recurring invoicing and other things that are on the horizon too. So it's starting to become an attractive replacement for that standard monthly cost of something like FreshBooks or QuickBooks. Aslo is a new player in the space. It's actually a bank that has invoices, takes bank transfers, and you can connect it to something like Stripe in order to process credit cards. It says that it has an API coming too, so that'll be interesting to see what they come up with. Now, I'd be remiss in not mentioning the big pink elephant in the room here, PayPal. PayPal has been in the game for a long, long time, and it's sort of a hybrid of all these things, and that's why it's attractive to most. It comes with some complexity in understanding the rates and who gets paid and who gets billed and all these other things. And to be honest with you, the rates are higher than most of the payment gateways that I've mentioned here. It's been known to arbitrarily freeze accounts from time to time for what seems to be unknown reasons. Now, obviously, there are reasons on why this happens, but locking up your money and not being able to accept payments and ultimately adding a ton of other friction into the process, well, I'll let you decide on if PayPal is right for you. Yes, chances are good that you have a PayPal account. Chances are good that your clients have PayPal account, and it's an easy option to go with that. But be mindful of the rate that you're getting. Be mindful of the experience that it is of paying your bill. So these are all these kind of things that you want to take into account. And like I said at the top of this episode, go through paying your own bill. Make sure you know all of the buttons, all of the screens, everything that it is that your client will go through. Taking payment online is tough, and you will need to understand what you need and are paying for. If you don't, you could be wasting a ton of money and potentially putting your business's lifeblood, the cash flow, under a lot of friction and making it difficult for your clients to pay you and for you to get the money. If you have a question, ask Rezzz. That's me, by leaving me a tweet at Rezzz on Twitter, or head on over to my website, rezzz.com, and jump on the mailing list. There I email you twice a week with resources, tips, and tricks that aren't said on the podcast, aren't said on my website. They're exclusive to the email list, and I read and reply to every single email that you would send to me. Until next time, it's your time to live in the feast.